Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi majma'in. Firstly, let's thank to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has been given us some mercies and blessing. Secondly, my salawat and salam always be given to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam who has guided us from the darkness to the brightness. My thanks go to all the underguided student of English Department of English Hamdan University who helped me with data collection and always motivated me and warmly offered valuable help and support and great relationship. Okay, now I will introduce myself. My name Laila Isroyani and I'm one of student department of English program Faculty Language and Humanity Hamzah University. In this video, final project professional seminar course under title Exploring English Language Teaching Strategies that foster student creativity, narrative writing, 11 grade student of SMK NWDI Pancor. Okay, next I will explain about my proposal. We start from chapter 1, which is the content. In the chapter 1 is the background of the study, focus of the study, and purpose of the study, and the last is significance of the study. Background of the study. Background of study ada Background of study is language, English language, writing, and the next is writing, narrative, writing, creativity, and the method. What is language? Okay, now language is human communication system using word, grammar, and symbols to convey information and ideas between individuals or groups. And the next is English language. English in an international language used with language used well in areas such as business, global communication, science, and popular culture. And the next is writing. What is writing? Writing is the process of expressing ideas, notion, or information using word or symbols structured in writing from to communicate with the readers. Um, Next is narrative writing. Narrative writing is the ability to write stories with a focus on plot, character, and conflict. In novels involving the skill of crafting an interesting and well-structured story. Next is creativity. Creativity in writing is the ability to explore new ideas and express them in a unique way in writing. Next is the last is method. A writing method is an approach or strategy used to plan and organize writing effectively. It includes steps or techniques such as outlining, mind mapping, or research before writing. Okay, next is the focus of the study in the chapter 1. This is research focus on various English teaching methods or strategies that can stimulate student imagination and creativity in writing stories. This co-encoded story-based learning technique with the use of creative props or other creative approach that can be implemented in the classroom. Next is the statement of the problem. Based on the above background, to what extent in creativity considered in English teaching? How can developing creativity in narrative writing improve student understanding of English? Next is focus of the study. This study aims to investigate various English teaching strategies that can stimulate student creativity in narrative writing. These include individually analyzing and evaluating strategies that can enhance sorry, that can enhance student ability to produce original and witty stories. Uh, and the last is the indicator one, the significance of the study. This is study emphasizing the importance of the creativity in English language, which can provide a new perspective on how to enrich language teaching by stimulating student imagination in narrative writing. And the next, I will move on to the next chapter. And we go to chapter two, and which content is chapter 2 literature review. The, the first is narrative, and the second is narrative writing and English language teaching strategies, and the third is research question narrative. Okay, the nature of narrative writing. Narrative writing is a form of writing that focuses on developing a story narrative. Involves presenting a story with details, characters, and plot that present experience of even chronological or non-chronologically. Back 1919. And the next is type of narrative writing. There are several types of narrative writing, such as fiction, nonfiction, autobiography, short stories, and novels. These include imaginative stories, fact-based narrative stories about the personal lives, as well as long and short stories with a focus on the plot. Next is narrative writing and English language teaching strategies. Okay, in the English narrative writing learning in the context of English language learning is the process by which students learn and develop the skill of writing stories of narrative in English 1 2019. And, and the second is strategies of effective English narrative writing. Okay, strategies for writing effective English stories involve using the right word, good story structure, pivot, character development, pivot description of the setting, and interesting use of dialogue. By combining these elements, writers can create a compelling and powerful stories. And the point is the impact of language teaching strategies in narrative writing. The advantage is the first is contextual learning, next is creativity and engagement, the third is cultural understanding. Stories often reflect cultural values, and the next is language structure and patterns, emotional connection, stories, and authentic communication. Next is personality learning, and the next multimodal learning, and long-term retention. This is in advantages, and this is disadvantage. Disadvantage is the crafting narratives can be time intensive, limited scope, culture sensitivity, lack of variety, and the next student preferences, and translation dependency, creativity constraints, and the last is instructor skill recruitment. Okay, next point B. Previous research of longitudinal teaching strategies in narrative writing. Exploring English longitudinal teaching strategies that promote student creativity in narrative writing involves exploring approaching that tap into imagination, linguistic skill, and the cognitive process. Next point is theoretical framework. Okay, English language learning that considers student creativity in narrative writing involves a deep understanding of various relevant theories in educational and linguistic contexts. The according blend 2013. And the next point is the research question. Understanding the role of the effective teaching strategies in creating an learning environment that facilitates student creativity is key to developing their language competence holistically. Okay, next, I will move to the next chapter in the list is chapter 3, research methodology. In the chapter 3, then be 4 point in and the first is research design, and the next is the setting of the study, and the next data search and collection technique, and the last is interview and observation. Okay, now I will explain about the research design. In this approach, the research will conduct a series of in-depth interviews with a number of English teachers from a different background and a teaching experience. These interviews aim to understand their perspective on the use of current teaching strategies that are taught to encourage student creativity in narrative writing. The question will focus on the teacher views on the effectiveness, challenge and benefits of the particular strategies they employ in the teaching creativity narrative writing. In addition to interview with teachers, the research will also involve students who are involved in the teaching. Uh, And the next is I will explain about the setting up the study. The research location is SMK in Wida Pancor. This school is a vocational high school located on the street Cutnya Dian, Pancor, Kecamatan Selong, East Lombok, Regency Nusa Tenggara Barat, Nusa Tenggara Barat. This school was established in 2005 and has been operating since 2005. There are four class enrolled from grade 10 to 12, and is taught as a compulsory subject. There are two meetings a week with an allocation of an allocation of 18 minutes for each meeting. Okay, this is feature was conducted at SMK and with Venture from October the 14th to November 17, 2023. The research consisted of interview and classroom observation For approximately 1 month in class 11, the first 3 weeks were used for interview and the following weeks were used the classroom observation. Next is data search and collection technique. And to updating the data, the writer used the two techniques of the data collection. And the first is interview. Interview is a data collection technique where by way of interviewing selected individual is a respondent for the more is it tried the fact to best attempt to obtain reliable and valid measure in the form of verbal response from or more responded. And the second is observation. Another data collection technique is Another data collection technique is observation. Another data collection technique is observation. According to Oriental 2010 observation is a data collection method that uses direct or indirect observation. In the case, observation is done by observing student behavior during the teaching learning process. Okay, maybe that's all for me. That's all my presentation. Thank you very much and thank you for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.